Diego Zoo. Welcome aboard. My name is Dawn and I'll be your guide and driver for about 35 to 40 minutes. It is a non-stop tour. Along the way, I will show you where the express bus stops are so you can ride that system. Later, I'll explain it all in detail up and down the road. I'm also going to share with you how there's so much more than a zoo. For example, we're also a botanical garden, an institute for conservation research, fundraisers for conservation efforts, and we nurture and study endangered species. I'll touch on all of those throughout the tour. If you didn't catch a map, there's a map center on your left. You can do that after the tour. You won't need it for the tour. It's kind of helpful if you've never been here before, but you can certainly pick one up later. This is our front plaza for nighttime zoo. There'll be a lot of cool activities throughout the late afternoon into the evening with a big finale at 8 o'clock. And to your right is easy street where you can get down to our tiger trail, hippo trail, walk through bird aviaries. Most of the monkeys and all of the ape families live in the Lost Forest to your right. And we have Caribbean flamingos off to the right, largest and the brightest of the species. See if you can find their kids. They're squabbling around right now. They're not pink. They're pretty large. Close to adult size, but they're not pink yet. They won't be for about a year or two. We had 4 chicks born this last late spring, early summer. Mom and Dad would have 1 big white chucky egg. They both incubated the egg and they both fed the baby crop milk. Our oldest female in there is 52 years old and still having chicks. She's usually the first one to have it, the chick. On the left is the exit to the zoo. Straight ahead is the reptile house under that red tile roof. Sky-Fari aerial tram in front of you. The other side of that is the Camp Critters show at 11:30. If you don't catch that one, you can do the 3:30 show. And the children's zoo is also straight ahead. Bug house, petting paddock. And there's a little playground if you want to entertain your kids before you get into the car this afternoon. All right, the brakes are going to be kind of squeaky here, so if you're sensitive to that, they just haven't warmed up. This is the first trip out for this bus, so if you don't like those kind of noises, you might want to hold your ears for a second. Not too bad. All right, I do need to point out some safety rules. Please keep your arms, legs, and children inside of the bus at all times. Please don't sit on the seat backs or stand up in the seats. Don't let your children do it either. It is very dangerous. It's all right to stand during the tour. Just make sure you are holding on to one of the railings for me, please. Just to make sure you can hear me upstairs, wave into the camera for me. Yay, thank you. All right. So, Lost Forest on the right. Spectacular area. Looks like the sun is going to break out early today. I love this part of the zoo. It makes me feel so much like I'm walking in a tropical rainforest. There are plenty of animals in there, including the tiger cubs. They're out till noon. We may or may not see them from the bus, as these are designed for you to see from the sidewalk. And the cubs tend to hang out in that upper right side. Every time I come down here, that's where they're at. I'm going to take a peek. And so I am not seeing them, but you certainly are able to come back after the tour. You guys will have plenty of time to investigate this area. Mom, Mac, had 2 cubs born right at the beginning of April. Christopher and Connor are their names, and they were named after the donor's son. They are beautiful Malayan tigers, both boys, and Connor is apparently the more rambunctious one. I got to see him the day that they came out into that exhibit, and there was definitely one that was much more braver than the other one, and ready to come out and explore. So down at the pool, you're going to find river hippopotamus. I'm not sure who's out today. Scheduled should be Punani and her son Adama. Awesome 600-pound baby, bouncy baby boy. But I'm not sure. Sometimes when the hippos don't want to go inside, guess what? They don't have to because they kind of rule the roost. On the other side of the pool, though, I can show you an animal. It's against that back fence, and you're not going to be able to see the head. Oh, there's the head. That is a pregnant, yay, okapi. You might think a zebra relative, right? But no. Okapis are the closest living relative to the giraffe. They have a very, very long tongue. They They were the ones that pruned those ficus trees to about the 9-foot level. Their tongue is so long they can wash the sleep out of their eyes. Baby okapis will not go potty for about 4 to 8 weeks after birth. That helps them not be sensed by predators. They have a very velvety, oily coat. Helps. They're in the rainforest, the Aturi forest, and it helps waterproof them. So you're probably going to notice along the tour we have lots and lots of plants. We have about 700,000 plants on grounds here. 9 collections accredited with the American Association of Museums. We have a browse program where we grow foods specifically for the animals to eat, such as bamboo, ficus, acacia, and eucalyptus. We are one of the largest and most visited botanical gardens in the United States. Check for some monkeys. I'm not seeing any up high, but maybe you have a better view than I do. Spot monkeys who actually can catch fish with their hands under the water, and some spot nose runners live in there. Some of the monkeys in here were found in markets where they were for sale and food or pet victims of the bushmeat trade. That's the illegal and unsustainable hunting of wildlife. But through rescue efforts, they rise here. That bushmeat trade and habitat losses led to the endangerment of all of the guano species. Endangered is a legal status that's given to a plant or an animal population that's at significant risk of becoming extinct and definitely requires our protection to survive. Some more flamingos on that little island there. You can see some white birds. If you get a look at their bill, they're called African spoonbills. They look like the bill was smushed by something, kind of a flat bill. That helps them get the little creatures between the roots of the plants. Very definite little niche in nature there. And if you look carefully, you'll see the birds are banded on their legs. The males are banded on the right leg, the females are banded on the left leg, and it is the only time at the zoo where the males are always right. Do we need to stop and get coffee? Some of you aren't awake yet. No, kidding. Here's stop number 2 on the express buses, right here. Look at the sign on my left-hand side right by the bush. If you've never been here before, you're going to love this. And if you have been here before, you're probably looking forward to using the express buses all day long. I will show you all 5 stops. No, I didn't miss number 1. That'll be at the end of the tour. Express buses, your hop on and off buses. There's 5 stops. The bus is marked with a green sign that says express bus. That's how you're going to know it's the one that's going to stop and let you on. We gave you a hand stamp a little while ago, and that is for you to use all day long. So what you do is you arrive at the stop and you wait for the bus. First thing we do is unload any passengers who are choosing to hop on at that point. And you may line up at the upper deck or lower deck. They both load from the outside of the bus, on the passenger side. Now you show the hand stamp. Even if we're talking to somebody giving directions, just hold your hand up in the air as you board, and that way we know that you already have a stamp and you're good to go. You may ride around as much as you like. You can ride the guided bus tours again after the stop. Okay. On the left is Route 163, about 30 miles to the north of here. We have our sister facility. It's the Safari Park. We have a special summer deal for you. For an additional $20 you can, and your ticket today, you can go to the Safari Park later in the day or tomorrow. There's a full setup. They have the cheetah run safari, they have an monorail, hot air balloon, zip line. So there's a lot of neat things to do out there. It's huge. It's about 20 times the size of the zoo. They have set aside about 900 acres of the park to remain undeveloped as a native wildlife corridor, which is really neat, so our local animals can travel on through. They have a seed bank where they're collecting seeds. A lot of San Diego's plants are endangered, and we're trying to help buffer the possibility that they go extinct. And they have a frozen zoo where they're saving cells from about 800 species and subspecies of animals. Yay, it's the Polar Bear Plunge. The break is on. You're welcome to stand up. Just make sure your neighbors can see around you, so maybe the right side of the bus can stand in the left and switch or something like that, so everybody gets to see. You get to watch the polar bear eating its carrot. Yeah. Outdoor polar bears. So, taste so splendor. Well, they do have a lower fat diet than they would in Ohio. They have meat and fish and some kibble, and they also get veggies. And they really like the veggies. They eat their whole fires, piles of carrots. They get some, I've seen some melons occasionally, lettuce, and I want you to watch the top of the head behind the ears and watch those muscles in action. Look at that. Isn't that really wild? Let's take up the jaw pressure on that animal. We have two females, Majestic and Chinook, and one male Palu, all obtained their orphans at a very early age. You can see some of the toys in here. The polar bears tend to try to kill their toys. It's called enrichment, where a toy or a center of snack is put into the exhibits to create a behavioral opportunity. It works really well, and something you can try at home. You remove the toy for a couple of weeks, and we can reintroduce it like brand new again. You can do that at home. Save yourself some dollars buying these toys. It's a fantastic viewing area. You can see under the water when they're swimming later on. Right now, it's currently breakfast time. One of our polar bears, Chinook, participated in a hearing study. It's much easier to study your animals. Researchers find it easier in the zoo setting than in the wild. So Chinook was in a hearing study so they can check out mom-pup communication in the den. And that will help set guidelines for the best more about in the wild. That is awesome. Notice how they want to eat on their little pool there. That's pretty funny. They have black skin. A couple layers of fur. The outer guard layers connect together and form the bears. Oh, you see another one coming. Look in that window there if you can't see me. Yay, polar bear blood. It's about 58 degrees in the water, so anytime polar bears want to cool off, they just jump in the pool. Like I said, they are more slender. They have a less of a blubber layer. Alright, we do have a lot of zoo to cover. Just a reminder, please don't sit on the side of the bus, because if you fall out, I have to do a lot of paperwork. And you can't say I didn't tell you, so I didn't know. So do be safe for me. Behind the polar bear lunch, we also have Siberian reindeer and Arctic fox. There's a big tower off to the right across the canyon there. That's the California Tower. First built in 1940 to the California Panama National Exposition. It's now part of the museum of San Balboa Park. The reason I mention it is part of the history of the zoo. Dr. Harry Wonderforth was a local physician and surgeon, and in 1916, he was driving down a local road and heard a lion roaring. He decided, right then and there, that he would start a zoo for the children of San Diego, and he did. He opened the next month. Spent the rest of his life working on the zoo, collecting plants and animals from around the world.